Bitcoin has been breaking towards the downside recently. We've lost 110k level right there and we came towards 109k. So we need to be deciphering what's going to be happening next. We need to be talking about this rising wedge pattern and this fractal over here that we've been talking about in the recent videos. You can see that we've perfectly come in towards the box that we were anticipating, and we're potentially going to be playing out what's happened in our 2025 range over here. So is that going to be playing out, or is there something else that's going to be happening to the Bitcoin price right now? So I'm going to be discovering all of these different charts, and I'm going to be talking about Ethereum and your altcoins too. So you know how we do. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight away into this banger. Bow. So looking at that short term, we can see that Bitcoin is testing this diagonal support level, and we could get a minor bounce over here. If we look at our RSI, we can see that the RSI is potentially putting in some bullish divergence. We're having a higher high on the RSI, however, we're having a lower low on the price level, showing that there may be some strength coming in towards the market. So we need to be monitoring this closely. Now, looking at the next chart, we need to be talking about this rising wedge pattern because it isn't looking too good. We are breaking towards the downside further, but I need to be talking about why this rising wedge is a massive trap in my opinion. I don't think that we're going to be trading towards a measured move in and around the 74k mark. I think that the rising wedge is a big trap that bears are using to call the Bitcoin bull market over. So in my opinion, that's not going to be happening. But if we move on to the next chart, we can see we're actually playing out this fractal again that we talked about in the previous videos. We talked about us actually trading in towards this box just below the support level, and on the event that we actually reclaim it, I do think that we're going to be moving higher. Now, in January 2025, we tried to reclaim the level, but we rejected from that level, and that's why we came down off of some tariff news from Donald Trump. But Donald Trump's tariff news isn't really having an effect on the market anymore, and right now the market is more focused on, are we going to be getting a rate cut in September or not, which I'll cover in a second. So in my opinion, I don't think that we're going to have any big news causing the Bitcoin price to move towards the downside some more. I think it's more likely that this is going to be a massive region where we can get some support and we can potentially reclaim the range. And if we do reclaim the range, then, you know, it's clear skies ahead. I do think that you have some easy liquidity to be grabbing. Due to this double top, you know, your shorters are going to be shorting the price and putting that stop loss just above. So we can actually view that on the liquidation heat map, and you can see that there's a lot of liquidity stacked above. Now, this is the 48-hour liquidation scale, but even if we zoom out to get a more holistic view to check if the liquidity is stacked above, you can actually see that it's actually stacked above our high as well, in and around the 120k mark. So the majority of liquidity is actually above us right now since we've swept that downside liquidity, and it's likely that we can see that reversal towards the top side. So looking at that short-term Bitcoin price action, there's a lot of people actually indicating that we have at a lower low right now in the Bitcoin price, and it is likely that we've broken market structure. So all of a sudden, this is very bearish and we should be moving lower. But I have something to actually contradict this. I have something that's actually pointing to the fact that we can actually see a move towards the upside now, because this is not the full picture. So analyzing this chart again, like we covered in our previous videos, we said this is our range highs, this is our mid range, and this is our range lows. And we actually drew this orange support box over here, indicating that in the event that we broke from this mid range, this is the next level you want to be seeing Bitcoin respond from. And this is a demand level. It's a previous consolidation before your move up that we had in early July. So this is a level that we've now returned to. And I said it's likely you're going to get at least a little reaction from Bitcoin, hopefully reclaiming that mid-range so that we can tackle these previous highs, which actually is your all-time high. So if we can push past that, we can actually start to see massive moves towards the upside. But yeah, you can see that this is not only a demand level, it's also a previous resistance. So you can see that this is a massive resistance level over here, and now it's turning in towards support. So this is another reason why you may be seeing a nice bounce from the Bitcoin price in the short term. So I'm not getting too bearish, even though people are saying this is a lower low. In my opinion, this is typical for the Bitcoin price. We can quickly cover that, and you can see that every time we get a lower low and we reclaim the range, this is where you're going to be seeing Bitcoin move towards the upside again. So in my opinion, I'm not getting very bearish right now. We've seen this previously in the Bitcoin price. So it's likely that we can actually see that reversal if we can actually hold here. So this is an interesting level that I want to be noting down, and I want to be actually taking a long position from potentially. So if you're enjoying the video and you want to be taking a position right there, then make sure to click that first link down below for Bit2Next. Bit2Next has actually partnered with me and is giving the community a 20% deposit bonus, which is absolutely insane. So that's some free money that you can be getting on top of your deposit. And you can see over here, if you deposit about $2,000, you can get up to $400 in future bonuses to be traded with. So if you just scroll down there, that's the link that you could be using to actually sign up. And yeah, I think this is an amazing opportunity for the community. We actually have up until 19th of September to actually claim this massive reward. So make sure to be checking that first link down below if you want to be trading for yourself. Now zooming out, this is another reason for the Bitcoin price why I do expect further upside is the global liquidity. We're actually following that global liquidity perfectly like we highlighted in our previous videos. So this is another reason why we may see the Bitcoin price move towards the upside some more. And this is a similar pattern that we're seeing. We're seeing this broadening wedge that we've seen in November of 2024. And towards a new year, we've seen that broadening wedge, and once we broke out and retested, that's where we saw the massive move, and that's exactly where we are right now. So in my opinion, I do want to be getting bullish over here. We haven't broken below it, so in my opinion, this is a massive region where we can actually see moves towards the upside again. And just to remind you guys that 0 out of the 30 bull market peak indicators are actually flashing a sell signal. It's all on hold. It's 100% hold right now, so none of these are indicating that we've topped out, and these are, you know, battle tested signals, and they're all indicating that the Bitcoin price has not topped out yet. So this is another reason on top that I'm not going to be getting bearish. I'm not going to be thinking that we're going to be breaking down from this rising wedge pattern. Now looking at the Ethereum short-term price, you can actually see that Ethereum is actually bouncing from this support level over here. Last time we covered it, we were trading around this level, and you can see that we've broken down and tested the support level that we've seen this massive response from. So that's actually looking very, very amazing. And I do think that Ethereum, if we can start to see some, you know, gradual moves towards the upside, it is likely we take out this all-time high level and continue to trade towards the upside. And I'll tell you why in a second. First reason is on the higher time frame. We can see that we've turned this previous massive resistance level into a support right now, and we're actually bouncing towards the upside. And of course, we also have a bull flag pattern for Ethereum that's actually playing now on that larger time frame with a target in and around that $6,000 mark. So in my opinion, this is 100% a reason why I'm staying bullish on Ethereum. You can see that we've actually swept that all-time high level already, and it's likely that we can see some follow through eventually. So we've had this V bottom scenario actually playing out previously, and you can see that in the previous cycle, this is where we took out our all-time high and went parabolic, and right now we're in that similar region over there in that orange zone where we're starting to test that all-time high, and the more we test it, the more weaker it gets, and that level is likely to be breached at a certain point. So I think that I'm staying bullish on Ethereum, since it's likely we're going to be seeing that massive move towards the upside. We've already got that V bottom that we've seen in the previous cycle over there. So in my opinion, I'm not going to be getting bearish on Ethereum. We've seen this already, and this is a region where you're going to be seeing a massive move eventually once you clear that all-time high. And another thing we can be looking at is the ETF inflows for Ethereum. During this dip, they started off negative, however, it's starting to turn positive again. Yesterday, we've seen a $314.89 million inflow from the Ethereum ETF from BlackRock. So that's actually looking very, very bullish. And you can see over here in the Strategic ETH Reserve website, there are a lot of big institutions that actually bidding Ethereum, like Bitmine and SharpLink. They're buying Ethereum every single day and loading up. This chart is up and to the right, which is looking very, very good. So in my opinion, a lot of ETFs and a lot of institutions are seeing inflows for Ethereum, which is very, very bullish. This just indicates that the smart money already see the rotation that's happening. They already see that massive altcoin season potentially going to be happening soon. And your altcoin season essentially is where Ethereum starts to outperform, and this is why you're seeing a lot of people rotate. So we're in phase 2 right now, and we're going to be getting in towards phase 3. So that's another thing to be watching out for. So this is the best time to be accumulating your altcoins, in my opinion. I think that your altcoins are going to be going parabolic. You can see the altcoin season index is about 55 right now, and we're not quite there in the altcoin season territory yet. So before we get there is always the best time to be accumulating, because by the time you already get into altcoin season, all the altcoins are already outperforming. So this is the best time to be accumulating on your altcoins and be loading up on that dip. And like we discussed on today's video, if we can reclaim that mid-range level, it is likely that Bitcoin follows this global liquidity. Bitcoin starts to move towards the upside again, and we're destined to see Ethereum outperform, of course, since we're in phase 2, and this is going to be seeing the whole market erupt, especially your altcoins. So this will be it for today's video. Make sure to smash up that like button and make sure to be following me on X, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a blessed rest of the day. Peace, guys. See ya. Bye bye.